Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the EGFC Rocket League. I am still Sepulence, and that handsome man is still Soy. We're going to be bringing you Canisius College up against Manhattan. And after this, I lied earlier. I thought we had 3 series tonight. We have 4, so this is like basically a bonus series for all of you. This is going to be a good night, and it turns out we are just getting started. Canisius and Manhattan. Soy, this game should be, they've got exact records. This has got to be a close series.
Yeah, 2 teams at 3 and 8 looking to fight their way back in the overall standings and in the MAC conference in particular. So this one is really bound to be a good one. These 2 teams, when they meet up, it's usually very close. So we'll have to see who comes out on top this week.
This is going to be a back and forth like never before. Now, Manhattan College is one of the schools that I believe, and I'm not positive, but I believe this is the only esport they participate in here at the EGFC. So this is elite, and if it's not, there's only like one more. My point is they're not here, they're not as spread out as Canisius College is, so they're really looking to shine kind of in their golden moment, in their golden esport, as Canisius does have quite a few other ones. I know they've got an Overwatch team, I know they've got a CSGO team, I know that they've got a lot, is my point. So Manhattan, they're looking to fight here, maybe a little bit harder, as they really want to show what Manhattan College can bring to the table.
And I think the thing that makes Manhattan College so unique is that they've got a lot of depth in their roster here. We see their team names constantly kind of change week in and week out. Whichever players are playing hot just kind of get the start. And speaking of hot starts, they nearly find a way to put that one home as Canisius, it's typically the same 3 names week in and week out, but a new name kind of making an appearance here. Tommy, a new name to that Canisius roster. Usually it's Shadowstorm, so we'll have to see how he steps into this lineup.
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating. I don't think I've had the opportunity to see Tommy either, but I'm Stuff. That is a name I know and love. I think that name is hysterical. One of my favorites here in the EGFC. I'd love to see them bring some heat to the table. And Soy, it is Manhattan College that is coming in hot. I almost said this morning. I don't know why I almost just said that, but it is still Manhattan College coming in very hot today. Super Eyeball getting a great opportunity to head toward goal. Twisted Mortals missing the flip, and it's going to be Cardi trying to find an opportunity to strike, but Canisius, they are pedal to the metal like never before. They are hungry for this first goal.
And that's interesting, too, because Canisius, they are not typically that fast team. When I talked with their coach, they said one of their keys was that they played patient. They waited for mistakes and tried to punish. But to see this speed, it's a good change of pace for them.
And a good change of pace can truly never hurt, especially when your team kind of gets stapled to a play style, right? Like, we're always defensive. If you bring something else out, you're really going to catch people off guard. And perhaps that's what Canisius is looking to do here tonight. They're going for a lot of mid-game gameplay. This is a very game one, if you know what I mean. These teams are playing very slow. They're just trying to kind of gauge one another and figure out who is bringing what to the table. But this game one still has to end in somebody's favor. That's one of my favorite things about Rocket League. There is no way to draw a game. Somebody has to win.
Yeah, and these are 2 teams that are used to longer sets. They are more drawn out. I mean, Manhattan in the past has been that team that's had to kind of bunker down, withhold the storm, and then try and counterattack. But this year, they've been better about pressing out, finding more opportunities to shoot, and their offense has been better for it. Meanwhile, Canisius, their offense, it's at times been forced to that this season, but that's a good play there, and I'm still avoiding the bump play from Super Eyeball. And Galixi, once again, so quick to that air dribble, just not allowing the Jaspers any space.
Jaspers are definitely struggling to find space the further we get into this series. It feels like Canisius was fighting for ball control pretty early on, and then we just kind of saw a slower opportunity of Canisius holding ball control a little more. It went from a 50-50 to a 60-40, and I'm hesitant to say we are entering almost a 70-30 opportunity here. And as I say that, though, Cardi from the Jaspers is going to be able to find some serious ball control into the back third of Canisius. However, I'm Stuff, the goalie of a lifetime, gets that block away. Glixie looking for a secondary touch, and they're going to be able to find it. A bit of physicality there, but with 2 minutes left, Soy, we've got nothing on the board right now.
Yeah, both teams have been able to respond to the call every single time right now. I think if there's one player I'm really looking for, it'd be Galixi as he steps up to the plate here on that play from the sideboards. One of the most mechanical players on this team, and he finds the angle.
3 minutes into the match. I swear I can do simple arithmetic, guys. It's something about being on broadcast that really gets me. But 3 minutes off the clock, Canisius finally going to find that first goal. And I'm not sure how many we've seen, so probably hundreds of games where a game is separated by a single goal. So hypothetically, that is all Canisius needs to bring to the table. And with only 105 seconds left, If they just keep up this very solid defense we've seen, they're going to walk away with game one, no problem.
And these are two teams that are not known to be, that type of track meet, fireworks style offense. So to have that 1-goal lead is really big. And even though there's a lot of time on the clock and there is a rule 1 on the field, you have to wonder if that's going to be the deal breaker. It's not. It's Cardi getting over top of the defense to tie things up.
Oh my goodness, Cardi coming in hot, able to find that goal for the Jaspers and tie things up. 1-2-3 left on the clock. Only 83 seconds for one of these teams to break out, or they're going to guarantee an overtime.
And I would point it out earlier for Canisius, one of the players I was looking to see, between Tommy, the new face, and Galixi, the mechanical player. Cardi has been kind of the standout player for me for Manhattan. The way they've played, their positioning has been very good. Their mechanics have been on point, and they showed up when they needed it. And he makes the save there, too, backtracking on Galixi's shot. What a play.
What a play indeed. We're down to the final 60 seconds, and that second half buff is not going to be happening for these teams quite yet, as they're just so unbelievably neck and neck. A great attempt on goal from the Jaspers. Here comes a secondary into a tertiary, and Cardi is able to put it away. The Jaspers taking the lead for the first time, just like the Super Bowl, Soy. Less than 60 seconds on the clock, and one of these teams going to snatch away that lead.
Follow-ups. We talked about it in that last set with UConn, just that rotation so clean. Manhattan winning every race to the ball there. Canisius' defense could not get there in time. The speed was lacking, and Manhattan was able to punish it and tap it into the back of the net.
35 seconds left. Canisius has got to be beating themselves up a little bit. Maybe they need to be playing a little bit more aggressive. We talked about playing slow, but when you lose the lead, you can play slow no longer. You've really got to kick it up a notch, change your play style, and Tommy looking to do just that. We talked about the importance of Tommy this evening, as this is our first understanding that they are showing their face in the EGFC. I'm Stuff going for a great demo, but unfortunately did not have the speed to find it. Tommy going in for a goal. Cardi going to be able to steal it away. Only 11 seconds left. The Jaspers have a great opportunity to walk away with game one, when for the entire game, it seemed like they were going to be the team losing. Oh, no.
The chip shot.
Oh, yes.
That one's going in. It's super eyeball, and when you're forced to make a play, sometimes it ends up leading to an error, and super eyeball is there to sneak that one just inside the near post.
A great opportunity from Super Eyeball. 2 seconds left, and Canisius, they start strong, but they just cannot finish strong enough. The clock will come to a close very quickly. That is going to be Manhattan walking with game one. Now it's just like the Super Bowl. So I mean, that is a perfect rendition of what we saw. The final 60 seconds, somebody is going to be losing that game. And wow, a great performance from Manhattan to turn it around. I was really scared for them for a good majority of that.
Yeah, I mean, the way Canisius was playing, it was certainly a different variation from what we've seen, which is a good sign, because you never want to be locked into one style of play, because it leaves yourself open to a lot of counterplay. But you saw there Manhattan was able to respond, and I think the biggest key there was that they were adapting quickly to that change of pace.
Right.
Canisius said, okay, we're going to come out fast. We're going to come out and see if we can shut down all of these offensive plays that you've got. We're not going to give you any space. And Manhattan said, okay, if you're not going to give us space, we'll respond. We'll play up to that pace, and we'll see who can win the race to the ball. And that time, they won the race to the ball, and they got numerous chances off the back of it.
Yeah, numerous chances indeed, and they seemed to capitalize on almost every single one. Canisius College, they're going down in game one, but that's the benefit. Like I said in the last series, that's our benefit of game one. There's at least two more for you to really kick it up a notch and turn it around. Canisius could tie things up. They could force a game four, and then obviously we could end up in some world in a game five, which, to be honest, I hope we don't, because we are quite a bit behind schedule. We've got a long evening ahead of us. But if it happens, I mean, so be it. These teams are fighting not only for those spots in playoffs, but just for those bragging rights of being able to beat these teams.
These conference games are ever important, and for these two in particular, there's only so many conference games and just regular season games left. Both of them have 2 conference games remaining, and considering how the teams have done so far, they really need these victories to give themselves a good shot when it comes to those playoff rounds. And you're seeing here in an early start, Canisius, there's that pace of play right off kickoff. They try and pull off the passing play. They just don't quite find that angle.
Yeah, they're just not able to find the angle when they want to, but maybe they're going to be able to find it in a second or perhaps even third attempt. Pressure's on now, though, as Cardi goes for a shot into goal. Going to be a little bit wide, not able to find the appropriate lining. It is all about that first goal sway, and it took them quite a while last time to bring that goal to us. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on what these teams bring to the table. Already almost a minute down, no goals left, and by the way they've been playing, that's not really that surprising.
Yeah, and that's a good centering ball as Canisius, their defense, kind of in an awkward spot here, just outside of that goalie box, had to retreat, but they do find the rotation they need to get that clear. And this ball, very dangerous, and I feel like you're starting to see more of that patience starting to show for Canisius. They're letting Manhattan try and dribble this ball so they can get a good read on the 50-50 and then let their offense go to work.
Right, and letting the offense go to work seems to be the name of the game for them from what we've seen so far. It has been offense all evening long. Or I wanted to say last game for some reason, all morning long. The pressure on now, 90 seconds gone. We've got Canisius down 1-0 on the series, but tied up 0-0 in the game. Being down by 1, truly not that scary, right? It's when you're down by 2 that you start to get a little bit nervous. But Canisius, they are not the type of team to crack under pressure. Teams that intentionally play slower in a game like Rocket League are often the teams that I'm personally afraid of because they must know something I don't. Because every time I play slow, I do horribly. But it's going to be Manhattan with that first goal online. A change of pace from game 1. They weren't able to score until the final 60 seconds, but this time they're putting it away with only a minute 40 gone.
That was just a great solo play by Super Eyeball. Gets the ball down into the corner, gets the bump on the defender who's trying to make that challenge, and then he finds a great angle off the hood of his car, off the back of his car, I should say. And once again, shot placement being a huge factor, sneaking it inside that near post.
Tommy F going for a bit of action there, trying to pass it into I'm Stuff to get it away from goal out of the back third, but instead it's going to be caught out by Manhattan, looking to put it in, obviously to that back third, into that goal on the side of Canisius. Cardi going to go up and over, perhaps not one but two defenders, putting that second goal away for Manhattan. Not even done with the first half of the game, and Manhattan finding themselves 2 points in the lead.
Great aerial by Cardi, but this is a mix-up on the back line. I'm Stuff and Tommy both jump to try and make the save, and they end up bumping each other out of the way of the ball, and that opens up the net for Manhattan. So they jump out to a 2-goal lead, and again, these are two teams that were not really used to the fireworks show, the track meet, and so to have this 2-goal lead as we approach the halfway marker, that's a very good sign for Manhattan.
There we go. We are now entering the second half. Everybody get those buffs ready. We are jumping in. All 6 of these players just kicking it up a notch. They're non-sponsored gamer liquids, all kicking in simultaneous. 2:20 remains. Canisius looking for the time to strike. Tommy able to find 2 demolitions, but nobody is there to capitalize. Tommy almost gets in the way, but it's going to be Cardi that catches it out. Canisius has finally come back to life here in game 2. They're looking to score, looking to get it out of there. Back third, Tommy with a great disruption. Is there a follow-up when they need it? Up and over into the midfield. It's going to be a complete open ball for about 3 whole seconds. Lixie trying to catch it out now, but all 3 members from Manhattan just seem to constantly be on top of this ball.
Yeah, Manhattan's positioning is on point, and you saw Canisius' best chance in that last sequence was via physicality. We've seen that time and time again from them. When they feel like they can't get their offense going, they resort to those bump plays, those demo plays. They try and commit to find those angles, and Galixi sneaks by 2 to cut the lead in half.
Lixie finally breaking through that defense. That is Manhattan. I like the way you said that, so he really does sneak through. Look at that, right up and over the boths of them. It is going to be Manhattan looking great. Or, excuse me, Canisius. Manhattan looking a little rough there, if I'm being honest. That is a double miss, a possibly double commitment, like similar to what we saw the issue from Canisius. They bumped into each other a little bit, gave the ball enough time to get away into goal. 90 seconds remaining. Number 1 on the board, but Canisius, they are not just looking for number 1. They are looking for the victory royale.
And those demo plays, too, that physicality I was talking about, that forces you to play faster. It forces you to try and make better plays. But what a shot! It's still on the goal line! It got forked out! I'm Stuff diving across and pushing that one away. And Canisius escaped, but only for a moment. Pressure continues as Galixi makes the stop, and they will get the clear.
Oh my goodness, I have never seen that, Soy. I have never seen a ball go, what was that? What was that, like 80% in? But it's got to be 100% for that goal to count. And Canisius thanking their lucky stars, thanking the Rocket League gods that allow them to play this game. They are coming in hot. I'm Stuff, finding some great action. 50 seconds remain. Canisius has a phenomenal opportunity to tie things up, but they need to make sure that Manhattan does not score again.
They've got to find a way to transition this ball cleanly. Right now, the clears just aren't there. Manhattan has drawn a line at midfield, and Canisius cannot cross it with possession. They need another one of those booming clears. That's how Galixi found that first goal. He beat the back line to the back wall, and Canisius, they're running out of time to do that again.
Time is certainly not in their favor. 17 seconds remain. There's absolutely the opportunity to find a goal if they play their cards right. However, their cards may have been played a little bit too early. Tommy going in, looking for the opportunity to strike. Glixie going to miss the ball as well. Here comes a third attempt. Ball going to go up and over. 5 seconds remaining with Manhattan taking ball control at a crucial time like this. Canisius may have to kiss. No, will have to kiss. Game 2, goodbye. Manhattan finding themselves up 2-0 on the series.
Yeah, and again, you saw Manhattan, that rotation, it is undisturbed. Those demo plays that Canisius was trying, they just couldn't track anybody down. And those 50-50s, when you try and play fast and you try and play more physical, you just use so much boost and you have to be everywhere, right? You have to be very aware of where that ball is going to go. And if the play doesn't work, all of a sudden your defense, it's kind of out of rotation. It's out of place because you committed 2 players forward. Who's going to be back to win that 50-50 now? The third guy, maybe. The guy who just challenged it, probably not. And Manhattan, because they were able to avoid those demos, because they were able to find the open space, they were winning the race to the ball and winning the 50-50s.
The 50-50s just worked out so well for Manhattan every single time. And I love the attempt that Canisius wanted to make there, right? So you know that I love more than anything in this game physicality. I think it is what separates the goods from the greats. And Canisius, they were going for those demolitions. They were going for those bumps, but it was the lack of follow-ups that really separated them from Manhattan there. We saw at one point, I think it was Tommy, that newcomer, find 2 demolitions. There was nobody to score, and it was that third and final player from Manhattan that interrupted the point that had Canisius scored, they would have tied things up. We would have gone to overtime. But because of that lack of follow-up from Canisius, they lost that game.
And think about the follow-up that we saw from Manhattan in game number 1. It was just time and time again. There was always a player ready. There was always a player back. The only time in game number 2 that we saw Canisius get a goal was that backline got beat. Galixi got a powerful clear. Manhattan could not get back in time. You saw 2 players try and respond to it, and Galixi got by both of them and snuck in that near side angle. So that's really the key here, is that Manhattan, they're playing at that comfortable level. They're recognizing, hey, Canisius is trying all of these things. They are now playing Manhattan has flipped the script. The bait and punish style that Canisius wants, it's now being used against them because Canisius is the ones making the mistakes, making the errors. You're even seeing at times, and maybe this is partially because they've got that newcomer, Tommy, entering the lineup. Because there's been a couple times that we've seen double commits. Think back to game number 2 where we saw, I believe, the first or second goal. 2 players on the goal line go up for a save and end up bumping each other out of the way. A couple of those passing plays, just a little bit, not quite there, just a little bit off. So maybe that's a part of it, but it's something that Canisius is going to have to overcome quickly if they want to battle back in this set.
Battling back is the name of the game after all. I don't know. I'm just trying to think what I want to see different from Canisius here, because like I talked about, we saw the physicality, and that's almost always what I want from these teams. So to see it not work as well as they want it to is a little bit worrisome moving into Game 3. We saw them with, a great attempt in Game 1, an even better one in Game 2, and moving into Game 3, is this Canisius' time to shine? Will we get a Game 4 tonight, Soy? That question will be answered within the next 4 minutes and 49 seconds. And oh, what a start from Manhattan. They are trying to score in the first 10 seconds of the game.
That was a huge opportunity and a great save on the goal line. I believe it was Tommy stepping up to make that play, but this is showing the speed of Manhattan. They are out early. You see that goal line stand from Canisius. They're starting to look a little bit like Georgetown was, kind of shelled up on their own goal line, and it makes it more difficult to find those powerful clears. You're giving up so much of the field. Canisius has to find a way to press.
I think you just nailed it. They need to find a way to press. The demos are there. The physicality is there, but there's unfortunately just not enough. Maybe it's only communication, right? We talked about that third player, and I think I said this earlier, but I'll say it again. I think Rocket League, more than almost any other esport, relies so heavily on team communication and team coordination. And every team, if they want to be their very best, needs to make sure that they play as a fluid connection, a group of 3 rather than 3 individuals.
You have to have that communication on point because the plays happen so fast. And I think that's something that Canisius will have to work on as the season kind of goes on because, well, with the new player, you're seeing Tommy, he's got the general right ideas. He's got the mechanics to make plays, but he seems a little bit out of sorts with this rotation, with the pace of play. And Manhattan is a team that's, they have been consistent about it, and they're consistent across the board, no matter who is in. Twisted Morals, Super Eyeball, Cardi, the three of them today have been very good, but we've seen other players step in their place and do the same thing, and it's a very dangerous prospect to go against as Cardi finds the angle at the center of the net and puts Manhattan up 1.
Cardi is here to party, my friend, able to find that first goal for Manhattan, and now they're only 3 minutes and 10 seconds shy of a 3-0. Not quite the devastating sweep of our first series tonight, but a 3-0 victory is certainly nothing to shy away from.
Yeah, and getting that first goal, again, it's forcing Canisius to try and make plays, try and beat them over top, and it plays to what we've seen earlier this series where Manhattan is just saying, okay, try and beat us, and so far they haven't made the critical error as Galixi once again trying to sneak it inside the near post, but the defense was wise to it.
The defense being wise to it is definitely the name of the game here tonight. Is going to be the defense all day long. I really think that's what is giving Manhattan such a consistent lead here tonight, is just their defense refuses to break when it needs to. Canisius, I truly feel like they're doing everything they can. Manhattan, just for whatever reason, always feels like they're one step ahead.
Ooh, and that was a good passing play, but yeah, they are. It does feel like they are one step ahead because everything Canisius has tried, it's just the execution is a little bit off. Even on the last sequence before this kind of offensive try, there was a 2-on-1. You saw the bump play try and come through, and the defender still is able to make the save. So Canisius, they've got to try and find a way to gather up possession. We haven't seen Canisius have that opportunity to really show off the mechanics that they've got because they've got mechanical players in I'm Stuff and Galixi that we've seen go for air dribbles, go for ceiling shots, for doomsy dishes. But speaking of, look at Cardi look at all the space that Cardi has to attempt that air dribble. Canisius has just had no space when they've reached the orange half.
Yeah, no space, truly. It seems like they're just not able to find the space. I was trying to not use the word space, but I couldn't think of anything else. They just don't have the space they need. 90 seconds remain on the clock. Canisius down by 1 goal. This is so unbelievably reminiscent of Game 1. In that exact same breath, as I say it, this is even more so reminiscent of what we saw in that first game, or that second game, excuse me, where Manhattan was up by only 1 until the final minute of the game where they were really able to turn it around and kick it up another notch.
Twisted Morals gets that goal, and a well-played ball by him. Just power clear towards the back wall, but not just the back wall, towards the ceiling, and it gets the drop down, the waterfall effect back down towards the goal line. And this game is all about angles, and he's able to redirect that one into the back of the net. And Manhattan with a 2-goal lead late in the game, it's going to be now like climbing a mountain for Canisius to come back in this one.
2 goals in 1 minute. Of course, that breaks down into 1 goal per 30 seconds. And Canisius is in one of those scenarios where not only are they racing against Manhattan, but Soy, they are racing against the clock. This is going to be so unbelievably difficult to turn around as they've really been struggling on the offense. Their defense really seems great. Manhattan has to work for the goals, but when they need it most, it is not I'm Stuff. They are not just Stuff. They are a legend when the team needs them. The hero in the darkness, putting that first goal away, but still 42 seconds before that second goal needs to be found.
When in doubt, where is I'm Stuff? That's the name of the game for Canisius in these types of scenarios. You saw Galixi had a great pass play. No one was quite able to follow up on it, but I'm Stuff quickly turned around in his rotation, and now he's trying to set up another play with the demo there, but it gets cleared away, and now Canisius, there is a chance, but it's going to be very difficult. They're all on low boost as they chase down this ball.
Chasing down the ball, 20 seconds remain. Canisius knows they need to just step it up, pedal to the metal. They need to come through and look for the opportunity to strike. 13 seconds left. I'm Stuff trying to be the hero once again. Tommy looking for a goal of their own. Single digit, Soy. This is where it gets really scary. Canisius, they are mere seconds away from a 5-0 or 3-0. I don't know where I got 5. I don't know what's happening. But now it is going to be Canisius. Oh, just an inch short of the goal there. Talk about unfortunate. Just like that, so a 2-3-0 series in a row, and I think we're almost back on schedule.
Almost. And a fantastic 3-0 sweep for the side of Manhattan. Really got to shout out Cardi in that last sequence. The Manhattan defense really overall played very well in that last sequence, but Cardi just time and time again making the critical play, making the very crucial touch to find, the opening, to win the 50-50. And right there, right when you saw Canisius, they started to find some space offensively. All three players on Manhattan are inside that box, and the pass or the shot just off the post, and Cardi's already on the wall, gets the touch off the nose of his car to get the clear instead of have it just go up the wall and allow for another 50-50. That's what really did it in, and Cardi, I think, gets a well-deserved MVP for the side of the Jaspers.
Oh, yeah, no doubt in my mind. I'm not going to disagree with you in the slightest. I said it once, but I liked it, so I'm going to say it again. Cardi came to party, and that definitely showed up in Manhattan's performance here tonight. With that 3-0 victory, folks, we are going to throw it to another short break. We're going to get the next couple of teams ready. We have 2 games left, I think.
Two more.
I have no idea what's going on if nobody's been able to figure that out. I'm very behind today, but we're going to have 2 more series left for you folks in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you then.
You